Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our weekend Q&A. And I guess like we did last time, I'm not gonna. I decided not to do any prepared remarks. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take any questions, and of course, if there are no questions, then we don't, we don't have to keep you on here. But I want this to be for you. So and it doesn't necessarily even have to be about your PLR. It can be, Jim says speech. Uh, it can be about just some things that maybe you've been thinking about. Maybe you don't have questions. Maybe you just want to kind of bounce something off me. And I'm happy to give my opinion about something that you're trying to do to get started or even to get moving in your online business. So if you have anything that's like that, please feel free to type it in the question box. And let's see if I can, I don't know if I can share, go to webinar. I don't know if I can share my iPad yet, right? But it's something I want to look into to see if I can just kind of write while I do this. But in any case, I'm going to turn on my camera so that I can see you. And let's see, just make sure I'm on here. Not quite on yet. Let's see, that's a screen. No, that's what I want to do. Turn on my camera. Okay, so I think I can see you, and you can probably see me. So if you have questions, just throw them in the question box, and I'm happy to try to answer them. As an aside, while while you're writing your questions, um, I decided to push back Traffic Builder Playbook. I had a few problems with Optimize Press 2, and what I decided to do, and they eventually resolved themselves. But I'm going to just kind of be on the safe side, and I don't want anything to go sideways in the middle of a launch. So what I'm doing, I'm working on right now is I'm working on volume 4 of New Marketer Workshop, which is going to be on the Chat GPT plugins. And so that's going to be kind of an interesting course. That's going to be the last thing I'm going to do in terms of New Marketer Workshop on AI. So that'll give you the ability to kind of give your customers a bird's eye view of AI. And I'm kind of taking a position on AI. Oh, you said my volume went down? My volume went down. Can you still hear me? Okay, great. Okay. So the idea is that when it comes to AI, I'm going to take a position. I think you should consider taking a position, and you're probably being swamped with different applications and different software and a lot of stuff that does a lot of different things. And the tendency is going to be that if you go out and you go to your customer, you're going to confuse them. And so I really want to suggest that, especially for people who don't know as much as you do, you really need to simplify things for people. And I'm going to suggest that you simplify things for people. And again, I recognize what it means to ask people to pay for stuff. But I suggest that you tell people to just get ChatGPT, get ChatGPT Plus, and to focus on the plugins, because people are adding those plugins every day, and they do a lot of different things. And a lot of things that people are adding to and selling paid applications, ChatGPT is going to do that stuff. And it's doing that stuff with the plugins that we're going to be discussing in volume 4. Now, if you're an Ultimate Insider, you're going to get that course. You're not going to have to pay for it. And I don't know when I'm going to release that course to the public, just so you'll know. But the plugins are really going to be, I think, enough. They do enough. So you don't have to have all the applications that come out of everybody. Everybody's sending all these applications. This software does this thing. This software does that thing, and they're all really cool. And they're being created by people that I that I like, that I trust. I still don't think that you should be going out and getting them all. And even it doesn't matter that you're going to buy them at a one-time price. If I were to ask most of the people, you don't have to raise your hand, but if I were to ask you, how many of you all have bought at least one tool per month ever since AI started. So since March. How many of you all have bought at least one tool? Yeah, and so I think you can save time, and you don't need to be promoting all this stuff to your customers too, quite frankly. And again, it has nothing to do with the people involved. The people that are putting these things out are good people. They've got good tools, and their tools do really cool stuff. I don't dispute that. As of right now, at this moment, if you have a $20 subscription to ChatGPT, it connects to Zapier. There are no more. Once ChatGPT connected to Zapier, I don't know that you really need a whole lot in terms of tools, in terms of integrations. That's one thing. Second thing is, I mean, these things are doing, and these things are being added every day. And typically, a lot of them are going to be free or very low cost. So everything that you're paying in terms of these new tools that come out every day, you're probably going to be able to connect them. And again, I say that, and I understand. I'm not trying to talk about any one particular person. Again, a lot of my personal friends, they sell these tools, they release these tools. Some of them charge a lot of money, some of them charge a little bit of money. It doesn't matter. The number of these tools that are coming out is probably overwhelming a lot of people, and it may be overwhelming you. And what I'm going to suggest you do is simplify your life. Stop looking at the other tools and just focus in on ChatGPT and get the plugins, right? If you're buying tools, because if you're buying the tools, you're paying for your ChatGPT subscription. Now, I say all that, and Google is coming out with its generative AI search. I think that if you focused on Microsoft, ChatGPT, and Google, you're going to have everything that you need. Are you going to be able to do a lot of the cool stuff that you see coming out like instantly? Probably not. There are going to be some things that people are going to invent that are going to do cool things before these big companies get around to it. That being said, you will be able to kind of move forward in your business and not be focused on AI, because the idea behind AI is not for you to focus on AI itself. It is for you to focus on your customer. And so the question is always going to be, how can I use this stuff to focus on my customer more? You and I have to double down. And I said this at the very beginning of when the AI started. I still believe this. You and I have to double down on our personal network. You got to nail down the people that are going to be in your personal and professional network, whoever that is. If that's affiliates, you got to nail down those relationships. However you do it, if you do a podcast, virtual summit, whatever you're doing, you gotta nail down those relationships. Number two, you got to nail down your recurring offer. You got to nail it down. You got to start improving on your. How can you use AI to improve your recurring offer? So again, it's not about AI. It's about these very basic fundamental things that were true before AI started. They're just more true now. Now, I just read something from, I think it was Ben Settle, and he's suggesting that you don't try to sell a subscription offer. Instead, you try to sell a high ticket offer and try to get people to buy that. I personally, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think you do both, but regardless, um, the point of all what I'm saying here before I get to your questions is, you and I have to focus on the fundamentals, and we've got to focus in on, first of all, getting that personal network. So who's in that circle of people that can promote you? Do you have them? Can you get them when you need them? Do they know who you are? Do they know what you produce? Are you producing stuff on a regular basis? Are you doing a podcast where you're inviting these people to your Dream 100, right? The very same thing I talked about in New Marketer Workshop. Are you talking to your Dream 100 on a regular basis? If not, AI is not going to serve you, right? Can you come up with a business model? I'm sure you can. Can you, you could start selling children's books. You can do all those things, right? It's going to be cool. But it can be a huge distraction, right? If you focus on AI and not on your business. Okay, so let's see, and let me kind of get to your questions now. Uh, Okay, so Jim's question is, could you please give us an overview of what you will cover in Traffic Builder? Like what kind of strategies are you going to teach, just briefly? Okay, so um, now Jim, just so you'll know, you're going to get it anyway. So you're an Ultimate Insider. So you're not, you personally, you will not be paying for it. Um, uh, uh, to just as it stands. So that's going to be an Ultimate Insider selection for June, right? So you won't have to buy it. So now I'm going to cover, and let's see, I think I have the syllabus here on my iPad. Let me see. Um, and I don't think you can't see this, but let me see. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Um, where is it? Uh, pretty sure I wrote it down. I wrote it down someplace. I can't find it right now. Okay, but basically, um, the idea is to cover. Oh, I think I put it in Microsoft Word. Let me see if I can find it. I think I can find it in Microsoft Word, and then I will kind of show it to you here if I can find it. Let's see, where is it? If I can find it, I'll show it to you here, Jim. Okay, I don't have it. Unfortunately, I don't have it listed, so I won't be able to show it to you. But basically, I'm going to cover um, the basic things that you need to have set in place, and all of the. So I'm not going to cover like content. I'm going to cover um, an overview of SEO, right? Understanding keywords, understanding the different sites where you need to have your content and have a profile. I'm going to cover making sure that you have profiles on the places where people buy information products. I'm going to cover places like SlideShare. I make sure that I'm going to do a broad overview of the socials. So I'm not going to focus on the socials. Everybody knows that stuff already. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I am going to just kind of touch on it. And I'm also going to talk about there's one more big thing, and I cannot remember it without seeing the document in front of it. But the idea is that these are the fundamentals that a person needs to have in order to get traffic. I'm not going to focus on solo ads at this point. If I do that, I'm going to do that in a separate course. I don't really use solo ads, so I'm really going to have to talk to somebody. I'm thinking about bringing in an expert to kind of do that. So because I don't do that every day, even if I could write a course, I'm going to bring in somebody who kind of knows that before I do that. So I'm not going to do that in this course. In the upgrade course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the process of selling a product and getting people to become on a buyer's list. And basically, I'm going to cover the MMO business model, which is the MMO business model in terms of getting traffic, which is getting affiliates. So how do you get those affiliates? And we've talked about that briefly on this call, which is in some cases, what you may want to do is to jumpstart the process by, becoming part of a. You may have to buy your way in, right? Or you're going to have to build relationships so that those affiliates will bring you traffic on a product launch, right? So that's the basic MMO business model. Now that business model can be replicated outside of the MMO market, right? You don't have to just do it inside of there. But I recommend that everybody who's here, you go through that process at least once of creating a product on the MMO network, Warrior Plus, JVZoo, so you understand the process. So once you understand that process, it is a transferable skill. You can actually go and do that with somebody else in their market or niche. So let's say that you're coaching somebody in the weight loss market. You don't have to bring them to JVZoo Warrior Plus, but you have to do this. You have to teach them the same fundamental skills, which are where are the affiliates? How do I get them to know about my product? How do I inform them about what I'm doing? Everything that you learn, everything that you do in the MMO market, I recommend everybody do this. You go through that process, and it doesn't matter if your launch is a bomb, right? You can have an absolute horrible time. You can make no money, but what you learn is transferable. And when you go through that process, you can then coach somebody because you're teaching them how to get traffic to an information product without having any traffic beforehand. And that's basically going to be involved in, first of all, finding a product that you know is going to sell, finding people who already have a list, getting them to mail for you, and giving them an affiliate commission, giving them a good front end affiliate commission where maybe you pay them 100% upfront, and then you make your money on the back end. You have a couple of things on the back end. Again, I could tell you that, right? I can tell you that, but until you actually do that, it's just words to you, right? And I know, and you could get excited. I mean, it's very exciting to understand that. So again, I suggest you go through the process of even if you don't want to be in this market. I don't want to sell to other internet marketers. That's fine. And you may not make product of the day. That's fine. Doesn't matter. What matters is you go through the process. Once you go through the process, that's a transferable skill. You can be a coach. You can coach people in other niches who are not involved in this market. So again, just go through the process. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter if it's a big success. Doesn't matter if you got, all these people, Now, I will say this. If you decide to stick with it, then you kind of get inside of a market or niche. You develop a reputation with affiliates so that when affiliates see you got something, they'll come and promote, or you buy your way in. I think that there's some people who've got these deals. They buy your way in. I know Tomei's got one. Thornhill's got one. Who else has got them? Right? Maybe you all know other people who've got these deals where if you have something, they'll promote for you. I've sort of got a loose agreement. I don't like to promote it, but if an Ultimate Insider has an information product that is fitting to the PLR market, and I like it, and I like them personally, right? I will send it, right? I think one of our insiders, Gail, right, has a that I sent that today, right? And I probably wouldn't have sent it just because I wouldn't have known Gail otherwise, but because she's an Ultimate Insider, I'll send it. So I have the same deal. The tendency is for people who are inside of our group, they tend not to they tend not to launch. So I don't do it a lot. I know Jim's in our group. So we promote him, right? So again, that's a way to jumpstart the process. So you find some of these deals. Again, like I said, I don't know whether Tomei still has her deal. I know Thornhill has his, and I think Martin, right? Martin's got his. So those are ways where you kind of jump the line, and you don't have to, and you sort of leverage their network. Now you pay them, right? But but it's the same as you paying advertising. So if you try to I think what is Thornhill? Thornhill's like $200 a month. Now you might say that might sound like a lot. Try to go out and advertise and not know if you're going to get a buyer at 200 and spend less than $200. So if you think, well, man, I don't want to pay anybody $200 just to be in their group and have them promote my offer to them, well, what if you go out and you try to spend less than $200 on Google ads or Facebook ads, you'll spend $200 just figuring out what doesn't work. And so what is, I think Tomei is $497. I don't know what hers is now. I think back in the, back a few years back in 2016, it was $497, and it's worth it, right? She's got experience, she's got a huge list, she's got, contacts, she sends out, she'll send it out to her list of JVs, right? So, what's to lose, right? So, so that's that. So, Jim, that's a long-winded answer to your question. I hope that I answered your question without going on about that. Okay. Let's see. George's question is hosting videos on YouTube and Vimeo the best way to go to save on hosting fees? YouTube's hard because YouTube advertises on your video. So I think that if you can avoid YouTube, then you want to do that. It says most hostings don't allow for hosting for video. So YouTube and video yeah, Vimeo probably, if you're not going to do YouTube. I know there's some smaller outfits that'll do it. And certainly, you're an ultimate insider, so you should be using the platform, and you can host your videos there. I don't think there aren't any bandwidth charges. But if you just need videos to just kind of host the process, then and you want something a little more flexible, because I know that the platform may not be as flexible as something like Vimeo. You can use something like Vimeo, I think. But YouTube, I'm a sketchy, because I know they advertise on your video, and I don't know when that's going to happen. And also, if you try to use unlisted video inside of YouTube, then if somebody puts that video in a playlist, then that video is going to be public. So YouTube is probably not going to be like viable long term, right? The short term, I mean, you've got to get something out, right? You can do that. Okay, let me see what the next question is. Let's see. Santu says, I don't pay a monthly fee to ChatGPT. I bought a version of ChatGPT called CopyMate, but it doesn't say what the version is. Where do you buy the plugins? Well, that's the thing, Santu. When you get a subscription to ChatGPT, the plugins come with it. So, yeah, and I'm okay. Please don't think I'm talking about anybody in particular. I'm not. When I say this, when somebody says things like it blows Chat GPT away, or this is going to be a Chat GPT killer, and it's 10 times better as Chat GPT, I kind of cringe a little bit. Um, you know, I just do. Because it's just another thing. It's another add-on. And so basically, once you get, OpenAI, and OpenAI is a ChatGPT is a way to connect with OpenAI with GPT-4. Right now, if you're a programmer, you can probably connect with GPT-4. You can use you can pay them just a little bit at a time for all your queries. And it's for people to create applications to connect to the OpenAI engine, right? DALL-E and other stuff. ChatGPT makes it simple to connect with that engine. And so all the plugins, right? I'll show it to you, right? I'll just show it to you. And again, I can't get an affiliate commission, folks. So just just so you know. So I don't know. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen now? Let me see if make sure you can see my screen right now. Okay. So if I go to, and again, I'm covering this in New Marketer Workshop Volume 4. So let's just go to here, go to GPT-4. And again, I have a paid account, right? I have a paid account. So let's go to Plugin Store. And let's look at this. So here's a plugin right here. It says Video Insights, right? So it's a Video Insights plugin. And basically, what does it say? It says interact with online platforms like YouTube or Dailymotion, right? That's just what the plugin does. It has Kayak in here, and Kayak is installed because I did a video on that for the course I'm doing. Chat with PDF is a way for you to host a PDF and then have a conversation so you find out what's in it. WebPilot is a plugin that allows you to bring 4 different web pages and then consolidate it so you create an article. Again, here's Zapier. So again, I'm not running anybody down. I'm saying people are spending a lot of time worried about tools and getting emailed tools every day. And I'm saying to you, that's fine. I'm not saying get off anybody's list. You stay on everybody's list. But I think you should simplify your life. I think that you should tell your customers to just do this for now and just focus on this, right? So these plugins do just about everything, and it's going to cost you $20 a month. Yeah, and the object of running an online business is not to avoid $20. It's not so that, well, you don't have to pay ChatGPT a thing. Well, okay. right? No, that's just not, if you're trying to run an online business, $20 is not, and again, you're going to find things to do cooler things than this faster, but eventually somebody's going to create a plugin that's going to be done here. Now, this may not always be true. You may be on a call with me 1 year from today, and I might say, okay, it's time to move away from the plugin store. But I'm saying that instead of all these tools and all of this stuff, just simplify, right? Just do this. And I'll give you an example of this, right? So here's what I did. Here's what I did. Let me just show you. Now, this is the Video Insights plugin. I don't know if you can see this, but basically, I said, please, I put a YouTube link in here, and I said, please summarize the content in this video, right? Because I did this as an example in the video that I'm doing for New Marketer Workshop Volume 4. So this is the example that I did. So I said, please summarize the content in this video. And so then here's what ChatGPT gives me back, gives me the summary. So then I ask the chatbot, does the video mention what kind of content to create? And again, I did this as an example. So it tells me, okay, no, it didn't. So then I say to the chatbot, based on the information in this video, please provide a bullet point strategy on how to market a video course on the subject of creating video tutorials. And it gives me something. Again, you know, I know you all, I know internet marketers. I know we like to buy stuff. I do too, right? I love information products. Nobody here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this place back here. Nobody likes information products more than me. I love them. If I could buy an information product every single day, I would do it. However, please don't try to promote all this stuff to your customers. Don't do that. Number two, if you're distracted and you're not actually getting things done, stop with all this stuff. Just get ChatGPT, learn to use the plugins, and then just focus on that for now. And when Google comes out with their stuff, focus on that. I'm just going to say, get off all this stuff. Now, that's about all I really need to say about that. Again, I'm not talking about any one particular person. I'm just saying. Now, okay, Jim says you have two books behind you, Internet Marketing Explained. Who's the author? Do I recommend? Oh, this is by, maybe Jim is about, it may be 13, it may be 10 years old, right? Literally 10 years old. It's by Armin Morin, and it was probably, I really love this information product, right? And so he basically outlined every little, and this is really what I'm trying to do with New Marketer Workshop. He's tried to outline everything, and I'm trying to do a video version of this, even though I'm not copying him. I'm trying to cover every little thing. And so basically he did this, and it's all audio. It's all written. He had it transcribed, and he put pictures in it. I think I paid $2,000 for it. It is awesome. I love it. I love that product. And so yeah, I wouldn't suggest you buy it. Because it's like 10 years old. But it was the most awesome product I ever bought, just so you'll know. Okay, so Rand left. So I'm just answering questions, Rand. So okay, MMO stands for Make Money Online, right? Okay, so Santu's question is, how do I prevent people from stealing my ideas of a product to promote on JVZoo or Warrior Plus? You cannot. The best that you can do is launch it, right? So you can't prevent anybody from stealing your offer. If you have an idea, money loves speed. So launch it is what I will tell you. Because the longer that you wait, the longer somebody has the opportunity to come up with your idea. So the best thing you can do is to get a lot of affiliates, to make yourself known. And so one of the ways that you can You're not going to be able to prevent somebody from stealing your idea. What you can do is you can make it as widespread so that if somebody sees somebody copying you, they then say, well, you know, that's Santu. I saw Santu Carter doing that. You don't, and people start writing you saying, somebody's copying off your product, right? So that's what I would say. Just launch it, launch it and launch it fast. The name, when yeah, I still use people's last name. Comes from when I used to work at a boarding school. I worked at a boarding school with all boys. So I call people by their last name. I'm trying to get better. Like I had to purposefully say Gail's name instead of her last name because I want to call her by her last name. I just want to say her last name. That's the way I do. And so if I saw you and I met you, I'd probably call you Carter, right? Because I'm just used to that. But Omar Martin is yes. I use the name Martin. It's called. His name is Omar. Uh, Okay, so Santu's question is, does ChatGPT have free plugins? No, they do not. You got to pay, right? So you got to, and so when you pay, you get the paid version, you can get the plugins. And Santu's question is, does GPT-4 have a version to create songs? I don't think so, but I'll look. Armin Morin, yes. And do you have to pay per plugin? No, you get all the plugins. You get all the plugins when you get GPT Plus. But let me see. Let me see if there's something for music. So we'll take a look and see. And let's see. And let's just search. We'll just search for music. Not really. Okay, so not really. So there's no music creation app at this point. There will be, right? I know Google is working on something, and I know there are different plugins out there and available, but eventually there will be, right? If that fits your business model, then you know, you can kind of work around it, but eventually there will be. Oh, thanks a lot, George. Good to see you, brother. Okay, any other questions? Let's see, we're about at 7:36. Any questions? Yeah, Gail, the Chat GPT plugins are, I mean, they really, at this point, they make it, they make the $20 worth it, right? And then you can just kind of, dismiss a lot of the other little stuff that comes about. Okay, any other questions? Anybody? Yep, I certainly will. I will ask her by support there, Santu. I will definitely do that. Okay, you have 3 questions. Did I miss something, Santu? I thought I did. Let me see. Can you rewrite them? I may have missed them. Hey, Santu, if you wouldn't mind rewriting them, I may have missed them. And I'm this the scroll feature in this thing is kind of wonky. So, all right. Well, if there, let me see. Scroll down here. Okay, do you have to pay per plugin? No. Um, you when you pay the Chat GPT plugin fee or the For Plus, you get the plugins, right? So it comes with everybody who's got a Plus account. Okay. Jim says, I refuse to invest any money in my business. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Does the free version of ChatGPT have plugins? No, it does not. Nope. All right. Any other questions? Well, I just want to let you know, I mean, you could have been spending your Saturday night any other way, but you chose to spend it with me. I just want to let you know that I appreciate it. Oh, Santu has one more question. Go right ahead, Santu. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, yeah. I think Jim's being funny, but I'm pretty sure he invests in his business. Um, who would make a good promotional partner in the field of grief and well-being? What do you want to sell, Santu? What do you want to sell, or do you want to be you want to sell info products and coaching in grief and well-being? Who do you want to sell to? Do you want to sell someone who is undergoing grief? I think I would start with I think I would start with someone who is producing content, and so I would search for a podcast or a YouTube channel. In fact, let's do this. All right, let's do this. Let's do. You can see my screen. Let's do a podcast search. There's a plugin for podcasts, so we're gonna install this for podcast search. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna unhook Video Insights. We're going to make sure podcast search. I'm gonna type in a query. Um, uh, find the top 10 podcasts on dealing with grief and well-being. So we'll just use one of the plugins and we'll see what happens. So first, okay, so it's using the plugin, so it's doing what we want, right? And so it says, okay, so here's what we got. All right, so we got it. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this. I don't know if I can put this inside of I don't know if I can put this in how can I do this? I think I can put this inside of the chat here. So let me try to put this inside of the chat. I don't know if it's gonna fit in here. But okay. So you got the so yeah, so I just put them in there. I don't know, and we'll try that. I don't know if that's gonna work quite or not. So oh yeah. Actually, you could download the list as a PDF. Well, okay. Can you download it as a PDF? There is a way to do that. Um, there's a plugin here. What you could do, Jim, is you can copy it. You could put that into a Word document, and then you can download it. There is a plugin. Let me see. There is a plugin here called PDF Exporter, right? So if you had that PDF installed, it's possible that let me try this. Well, let's just try it. I don't know if they work together. So let's just see if they work together. So first, let's just do the same query. Let's do the same query, because sometimes what ChatGPT will do is it won't work with it won't work with these two plugins together. So we're going to put those in together. So let's just try this. Let's do the same query. And I don't know if it's going to look, I don't know if it's going to do that or not. Okay, so it goes to podcast search. All right, so, okay, so it did that. So we have two plugins enabled in order to do this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say export this, export, let's say, please, it's a chat bot. You don't have to say please. I say, please export this list to a PDF, right? So let's see if it does this. Now I've got both plugins enabled. So I'm just going to say, please export this list to a PDF. Okay, so it's using the plugin. And let's see if it does it. It's trying. I don't know if it's going to do it. Okay, so it says that that's it. There it is. So yeah, so we've got the plugin, we got the PDF. So let's see. There's there's our list. So, and to answer your question, Jim, yes, it can. It just did it right there. So yes, it can. But I had to do that with two plugins. Okay. Gail says please to Alexa. Yeah, I know. I don't. I try not to say please to these things. I don't want to make it. I don't want it to be. I don't want to make this thing into a human being, right? It's like I just want to retain, some kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to upload this to. I don't know if I can upload this to. I don't know if I wonder if there's a way to upload this. I don't know if there is. Handouts. Is there a way to see? Choose a. Let's see. Um, let's see. I'm going to download this. Let's print this. But let's save this to. Let's save this to downloads. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna save it to downloads and. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I think okay, so you might be able to get it here from it's uploaded in the handouts area. I'm not sure how to get to it, but on your side, but it's there, right, Santu? So if you want to grab that list, you should be able to have it. Okay, everybody. Well, it is 7:47. I've maybe got a good another 10 or 15 more videos left to create for today. So I'm going to get going. Good hanging out with you all. Okay, so Jim said he got the PDF. Okay, great. So Santu, you should be able to get the PDF. Okay, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all being here. See you next week. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.